The world's largest sovereign wealth fund with $1.9 trillion of assets just got exposed for quietly buying more Bitcoin this week. But remember, they're not the only massive wealth fund buying Bitcoin. The UAE bought over $400 million worth of Bitcoin earlier in the year. The real question is, how long will it take before the entire $13 trillion sovereign wealth fund market is buying Bitcoin, or rather getting exposure to Bitcoin? There is a little bit of a nuance here. And then, of course, I'm here with the wonderful, the smart, the new superstar here of Simply Bitcoin, Internet Sophie, aka the better half of Nico. Anyways, let's get into this news story. So I am going to go through a little saga here to start off with. So you can see here is a headline. This is on Yahoo News. It just dropped this morning, but it's really coming through from Bloomberg. And I think this headline is a tad bit misleading. It does sound really good if you are, maybe you're from Norway and you're like, yes, this is great. So Norway's $1.9 trillion fund has best quarter since 2023. Just kind of reading it. Norway's sovereign wealth fund enjoyed its best quarter since last 2023, returning 6.4% in the second quarter, propelled by stock market gains. Equities drove the results, with unlisted infrastructure investments generating 8.1%. I'm going to butcher this, guys. Sorry. Norges Bank Investment Management said in a report on Tuesday, fixed income and unlisted real estate had a small positive contribution. The world's largest wealth fund owns about 1.5% of listed stocks globally. More than two-thirds of the fund is in equities, all outside of Norway. And then you can see some of its top holdings are Nvidia, Apple, Taiwan Semiconductor, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, and of course others. They have a lot of holdings here. And then over the same period, the fund reduced its ownership in Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Broadcom Inc. Now, of course, this isn't why we're really talking about this. It's because they just been exposed for having indirect. Again, it's indirect exposure to Bitcoin, but it does kind of send a signal to the market out there. I think what we've been saying on the show for the last couple of weeks, we've been kind of going through the paces here, or rather maybe wrapping our heads around this idea of, is Bitcoin going mainstream? It really does feel on a gut level that Bitcoin is entering the mainstream. Of course, we've been covering it on the show for the last couple of weeks. Like, retail is nowhere to be seen. Institutions are eating retail's lunch right now. They're going head first into Bitcoin. They're doing front flips into Bitcoin right now, whether it's corporate treasury exposure, Bitcoin ETFs, or buying Bitcoin themselves. And it seems like either retail can just be kind of, cornered into the ETF markets, or, Main Street is not here. Maybe the fabled 100K number that we thought was going to get people to dive into Bitcoin wasn't the number at all. Maybe we need to get to like 200, 300K before people start caring and we start seeing, the shoe shine boy on the street talking about buying Bitcoin. But I'm over here on Cointelegraph, and this is where it gets pretty interesting. And the headline is, world's largest sovereign wealth fund grows indirect Bitcoin exposure by 153%. Now, I think if this was just a story itself, just indirect, quote, indirect Bitcoin exposure, it would probably be a nothing burger. The real interesting part about this is that 153% gain or increase in their holdings here. So Norway's sovereign wealth fund, managed by, again, Norges Bank Investment Management, has positions in MicroStrategy, Square, Tesla, Mara Holdings, Riot Platforms, and Coinbase. That's a bouquet of Bitcoin companies here. And here, actually, let me just go over here to this tweet right here, because this is where the news really dropped. So we have, again, I'm going to butcher your name. I apologize. Velte Lund, who's head of research at K33 Research, which is this Norwegian sovereign wealth fund. It's actually the digital assets wing of it. And I'll kind of break down what exactly is going on with this, quote, world's largest sovereign wealth fund. Because when I looked into that, I was like, this K33 is not the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, but the Norges, let me look this. Norges Bank Investment Management is, and there's some interesting kind of leads there, some interesting rabbit holes that we are going to go down in a minute. So here we go. Velte Loon goes NBIM, again, Norges Bank Investment Management. They have indirect Bitcoin exposure as it hits new all-time highs of 7,161 Bitcoin. And he goes, this is my favorite chart to update whenever the world's largest sovereign wealth fund discloses holdings. It efficiently shows that Bitcoin is finding its way into any well-diversified portfolio, deliberate or not. Again, that is the key right now. What we've been seeing the last couple of weeks is this trend here where we saw people kind of talk about, hey, you don't want to touch Bitcoin, to actually, we'll let you guys buy Bitcoin ETFs. And then, oh, wait, actually, corporate Bitcoin treasuries are all the rage now. Or, actually, we don't really like Bitcoin, but we'll buy a huge position in strategy, which is basically just Michael Saylor buying a bunch of Bitcoin. So whether they're directly handling Bitcoin themselves, which I know you guys in the chat are like, oh, this isn't good enough. They need to be holding spot Bitcoin. This is how we really get the revolution going. This is why we're calling this paper Bitcoin summer, is because they're not actually buying Bitcoin. Now, I will kind of break that down in a minute, but this point remains the same. We're seeing people recommend larger and larger portfolio allocations to Bitcoin. It used to be don't touch it, then 1% to 2%, then 15%. Now we're seeing crazy numbers like 40% to 80%. Soon, I'm sure everyone is going to figure out the Michael Saylor strategy and do the, triple maxi 150% portfolio allocation, which is just like unheard of, but we're seeing it happen. Anyways, he goes on and goes, increased weights in core treasury vehicles such as Strategy and Mara, and the overall strong Bitcoin accumulation from treasury companies has fueled the H1 growth of 3,340 Bitcoin. Top 5 contributors to NBIM's increased Bitcoin exposure is, of course, Strategy, Mara, Block, Coinbase, and Metaplanet. It sounds like a Bitcoiner's portfolio here, but here you can see this chart. I'll zoom in here. You can see from June 30th, 2024, they had indirect Bitcoin exposure of 2,446. Now, as of June 30th, 2025, they have 7,161. Again, actually, this says 192% growth here. So it looks like Cointelegraph is off a little bit. And I'm going to take Loon's take here, which is very interesting here. So again, going into this kind of a little bit and breaking down exactly what the connection is with K33 and Norges Bank Investment Management. It is a branch of the Norges Bank responsible for managing the government pension fund global, often referred to as the Norwegian Oil Fund. Its main goal is to ensure the long-term management of Norway's oil and gas revenues so that the wealth benefits both current and future generations of Norwegians. And again, here we go from the website about the fund. The government pension fund global was established after Norway discovered oil in the North Sea. The fund was set up to shield the economy from ups and downs in oil revenue. It also serves as a financial reserve and as a long-term savings plan so that both current and future generations of Norway get to benefit from our oil wealth. In 69, it says they found one of the world's largest offshore oil fields was discovered in Norway. And then slowly but surely around the 90s, the Norwegian parliament passed legislation to support creating the, quote, government pension fund global. And now they are diversifying in K33, which is like the digital asset wing under the Norges Bank Investment Management, is getting a lot of Bitcoin exposure here. Now, I know what you guys are saying here. You're like, whatever. They're not actually buying Bitcoin. It doesn't really matter, man. This is paper Bitcoin. Why are you guys covering this? Is because the point remains the same, guys. As of now, at the point of the story that we are currently in, you're starting to see a very interesting trend that a lot of these institutions aren't actually maybe comfortable with fully just buying Bitcoin in bulk. Yes, they'll get maybe some Bitcoin ETFs like we just covered. We have Ivy Leagues buying Bitcoin ETFs. We have sovereign wealth funds around the world buying the Bitcoin ETFs. But again, the new rage right now is the corporate Bitcoin strategy. And I think the tacit approval of buying a huge position in Strategy, which is, of course, Michael Saylor's company, that all he does is buy Bitcoin and makes all these different products to tap into different markets around the world, different markets that basically have, trapped capital. I think this is the tacit approval that we're seeing. I think this is kind of the trend that we're going to see for a little bit, that they're not going to fully go all in on Bitcoin, but they will buy quote unquote Bitcoin exposure companies. And I think this is huge. Again, we've seen sovereign wealth funds dive into this. We've heard the conversations come out of the United States saying that, hey, we're going to literally create a sovereign wealth fund just to buy Bitcoin. We've heard talks about strategic Bitcoin reserves. Well, now we have the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, of course, a subsidiary of that, or maybe maybe subsidiary is not the right word here, but a portion of that sovereign wealth fund doing a deep dive into Bitcoin exposure, into indirect Bitcoin exposure. And I think if you kind of break down the mathematics, this is their, the shares that they hold at Strategy. And of course, Saylor's been very big on Bitcoin per shares. And so they have a bulk size here. This is a big position in Strategy. I think this is, the trend that we're going to see. Now, the interesting part to me, though, is this idea that this sovereign wealth fund for Norway was created out of the oil and gas industry. And this is one of the conversations that I've been having on the show for years now. My boy Nolan, Count BTC over at the Great Awakening, has been talking about for a while. When Bitcoin crosses that Rubicon and is the real price for energy, that's when this quote hyper Bitcoinization happens. And now I think seeing a wealth fund that is literally built on oil and gas, embracing Bitcoin mining companies, Bitcoin accumulation companies, soon enough will probably be acquiring Bitcoin. I actually, they already do have a little bit of Bitcoin here. Let me get you this, because I did see this morning while I was looking for a different news story this morning on Bitcoin treasuries. Let me find this for you here, guys. They have, I believe it was 138 or 128 here. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. K33 with 126. So they hold 15 million right now in Bitcoin currently. I'm sure we will see them go in force here later. Of course, I think when we go back to this headline here, they've had their best quarter since 2023. Is that a coincidence that this is also when they're expanding their position in Strategy? We've seen what Michael Saylor has done to Wall Street. It's been the best performing stock, period. And now the headline is, oh, Norway's $1.9 trillion fund has its best quarter since 2023. And then when you really look into it, it's like, oh yeah, it's because they are getting, quote, indirect Bitcoin exposure. So I think this trend is going. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't show you. All right, let me show you so you guys don't think that I'm lying here. You can see here Bitcoin treasuries, K33, 126 Bitcoin here. So, it's not a Michael Saylor 600 plus position in Bitcoin, but they do hold spot Bitcoin. They are all in on Strategy, and they hold some of the top Bitcoin mining companies. They hold Square and, of course, Coinbase. So, look, this may not be perfect news for you guys in the chat because you want to see a bulk buy of Bitcoin. Again, because we want to see the price come up. We're just like, can you guys buy Bitcoin on the open market here? But I think this is just kind of the trend we're going to see right now. A lot of stealth buying, or this, quote, indirect Bitcoin exposure. I think this is one of these moments. Again, I said it yesterday, 2025 is going to be the year that Bitcoin does enter the mainstream. And now we're just getting more and more data points to, I think, confirm that view here. Now, will we get a great Bitcoin bull run is still up for debate. As Nico keeps saying on the show, we've had the most bullish news cycle, period. And yet the Bitcoin price, I think we started the year at like 109 and we're at like, what, 118 right now?
We're doing great.
Yeah, okay.
We're doing great. I can't complain. And to be honest, I feel like all of these, huge, because this is a public fund, right? This is Norway's state fund.
Yeah.
Pension fund. Right. I think, honestly, this is my take. They just indirectly orange pilled the entire population of Norway. If they see that, their pension fund is going up and that, this long-term preference strategy is going to benefit them in the future, then they might be thinking, well, if the state is doing it, then maybe I should do it. And it just starts the process of dipping your toes into the rabbit hole and finding out, like, what is this thing that I'm actually investing in? And, that might lead to actual self-custody down the line. Who knows? But the point is that at the end of the day, these sovereign wealth funds, these big institutions, the government, aka the man, these are the people that have the money printer to make these bulk purchases. Sorry, I went blank there. My kid is distracting me. She's like, please come get me. But anyway, they're the ones that have the money printer and the power to kind of make these bulk purchases. And so eventually we are going to see that reflected in the price, in my opinion. We just have to kind of be patient. I just think that it's great that we're moving in the right direction, and it's better than, you know, one of these states saying, actually, like, we think this is all garbage and we're not going to buy any of it at all. It's not ideal for the typical Bitcoin maxi. Obviously, we would like people to have their own Bitcoin in self-custody, but if governments start to do it, it might get people comfortable with the idea of starting to accumulate some for themselves. And that's all I can ask for. Like, yes, we want the price to go to 500K right now. Yes, we want the United States to go all in on Bitcoin, and we want the rest of the world to follow. But these things take time. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. So I'm okay with being patient. I think Bitcoin has tempered me to having a long time preference mentality, and this is just part of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Sophie, I think you said something. There's actually one point you said, but I think it makes two really important points here. One, we've been waiting here at Simply Bitcoin, and I know everyone in the chat, we've all been waiting to see the nation state race kind of go into hyperspeed here. And I think we really are starting to see this. Look, love or hate Orange Man, love or hate President Trump, but ever since he came out and said, we're going to not only acquire a Bitcoin strategic reserve, but we're going to create a sovereign wealth fund just to acquire digital assets, we've started to see the dominoes fall. We've seen it happen in the Middle East. Now we're seeing this play out in Norway. And the second part, so if you said maybe Norway will orange pill all of, the whole country of Norway, I think going a little deeper, Saylor's been doing like the Lord's work here. Like, just by his company becoming one of the most profitable companies in the world, everyone on Wall Street, every institution around the world, every place that trades financially has to look at this and begin to wonder and ask themselves, what is going on here? How can you just acquire Bitcoin and become, gain what was it, like 70 billion? I think it was $60 billion in profit. What's a couple billion between friends? And so this is, I think, what we're seeing right now. Look, of course, our job here is to get as stupidly bullish as possible, but really try to be as honest and truthful as we can. And of course, you guys yell at me all the time. It's like, Opti, you said this like 3 months ago. I'm like, we're getting new information. Okay. I'm updating as we go. I'm a human too.
And the new information is just an accumulation of more nation states, more institutions, more individuals, powerful, rich individuals buying Bitcoin. So it really is all bullish here.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I think we got an insider over there in Norway, and he goes, no one in Norway talks about Bitcoin. Everyone is just comfortably numb at this point. Oof. Wrecked. Dead. Absolutely wrecked. Well, at least the people that are handling your sovereign wealth fund know what time it is. So hopefully more people will get orange pilled, like Sophie was saying. If you're looking at this and you're also a sovereign wealth fund, or you are maybe a more savvy Norwegian, you're looking at your country sovereign wealth fund, and you dive into it and you're like, how did they have their best performing quarter in 2 years? And you dive deeper and it's like, oh, wait, they just got Bitcoin exposure. Maybe it'd be smart if I got Bitcoin exposure.
Let's not even be that optimistic. Maybe they see, okay, Nvidia's doing well, the market's doing well in general, but when you look at like the outstanding asset here, it is Bitcoin. And I think that that's going to become a lot more relevant as the price goes up. If we get these rate cuts and we see the price pump between September and December.
Yeah, totally. Sorry. Chat's distracting me.
60 billion in profits.
Ron P. Nico saw the viewership numbers after Sophie took over his spot and capitulated. No, guys.
Damn.
He's in Finland right now. He's at an important dinner. He's hanging out with some awesome Bitcoiners right now. So, we got to keep the show going, guys. You already know the deal, man. Yeah, guys, I'm also human. Okay. I'm not perfect.
Actually, Nico was dying to be here, but
Yeah, he
was dying to be somewhere else more.
Yeah, he had he had an important dinner. Some really big names. Maybe he'll talk about it tomorrow. He should be here tomorrow, and then I think he's going to be off Thursday again because of another conference, and then he should be back Friday. I don't know. Guys, I might be doing the rest of the week here. All right, me and Sophie might be doing the rest of the week.
Carrying this.
Yeah, we might be.
Backs.
Yeah, exactly. But Luke might. Maybe I'll get Luke to fill in a day. But I do want to before I move on. People are asking me, do we have any news on the Nakamoto buy? So I looked at this right before we went live, and it looks like David Bailey said he's going to go dark for now. So from what I can read into this, it seems like he's probably trying to fill that position right now. And I don't know if you guys saw the price action last night. It dumped basically. I forget what the number was. I guess I could look it up.
It dumped. We're at 119K.
As you can tell, I really don't look at the price as closely as you guys might think I do. Everyone's always like, you look at the Bitcoin price every day on the show. I'm like, yeah. That's usually where I look at it. So it dumped to about 118 yesterday, and then it got to the 118, the low 118s, and now we have rebounded back up to the 119, 120.
That's not a dump.
Yeah, that's not a dump. It's a little
tiny like molehill dip.
It's a little blip. But actually you guys didn't see it. Sorry. So we don't have any news right now, but kind of digging into it a little deeper, as probably everyone can guess, I don't think they're going to be buying Bitcoin on the open market, guys. They're probably going to do some kind of OTC fill here. So it's probably not going to move the market as much as you might believe it would.
Wait, so are they not live streaming it now?
Well, I think they have it in like from what I saw, they're going to have a team recording it. I don't know if they're going to be live streaming the actual buy here. But if we get some news, maybe during the breaks and stuff, I will check the Twitter accounts again, check the Twitter timelines, and maybe we can get an update on it. But from my vantage point, it seems like they are probably currently trying to fulfill that order right now. Again, it's $760 million. It was rounded up to $1 billion, but they're coming out of the gate really strong. Again, the corporate Bitcoin treasury strategy is all the rage right now. And if they are actually acquiring this much fiat to smash buy Bitcoin, it's not that they're going to buy it on the open market. They're obviously going to go to OTC desk and try to buy in bulk. So or maybe they do some like TWAP, which is what is it? Time weighted. I'm blanking on what TWAP is. I always forget what this is. Time weighted average price, where they kind of, buy in small increments. We've seen there has been some days where the market structure, it looks a little fishy, and that's because they're basically using algos to buy Bitcoin. So if you see some like hourly candles that are just like constantly up and to the right, just think of it's most likely an algo buying Bitcoin right now. So they could be buying it on the open market, but in very small amounts, which is why we probably haven't heard anything. I think they're probably buying OTC, but again, we really don't have any information on what they're doing. I'm sure we'll see something later on today. Maybe they'll announce something at end of day close, so like 5 p.m. Eastern Central Time. Oh, wait, what am I saying? 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Maybe we'll get some more news on this once the, quote unquote day ends. It could be later. Who knows? So we really have no update, guys. There's no update on this yet. David Bailey tweeted earlier today, I think like an hour ago, I'm going dark. I'll come back and talk to you guys in a little bit. So that's the only update we have here, guys. So on that note, I do want to remind you guys to smash the like button, subscribe to Simply Bitcoin. We're dropping the dopest content. Sophie's going to drop another video tonight. She's been working double time today. She recorded it right before we went live. It's not going to be the same show. She did some great work on that one. And then, of course, guys, comment on the video. Let us know what you think about the show. Not just this show in particular, on Simply Bitcoin in general. We really appreciate all the love from you guys. And hey, we even appreciate all the hate engagement. It's all engagement to us. Okay, so
don't forget to hate with your friends. Share the video.
Yeah, exactly.
Share the video with everyone you want to talk shit with.
Exactly. And on that note, guys, I do want to give a huge shout out to our partner, Bitcoin Well, the best place to buy your Bitcoin, because they can never rug pull your Bitcoin. They have never lost Bitcoin, and they will never lose Bitcoin, because when you send them your dollars, they send you Bitcoin directly to your cold storage. So you have to give them a Bitcoin wallet or a Bitcoin address so that when your money goes through, they'll send it to you guys. And I hear you guys in the chat. I think we have some very interesting news coming up pretty soon. I know they're working on some cool features on the back end that I think you guys are going to really, really love. They heard the feedback. You guys could probably guess what that is. But of course, scan the QR code. Or actually, guys, you got to watch this show on your television so you can scan the QR code with your cell phone. This is peak performance here. Anyways, if you scan this QR code, you will sign up. When you sign up, you will get 3 chances to win 1,000,000 sats, which I think right now is what, $1,100 and I don't know, $19. So sign up for free and you get 3 chances to win $1,000 right now. Can't really beat that. And of course, when you buy Bitcoin, when you refer friends to the Bitcoin well, you get more chances to win this money. And no one's won it yet. So it could be you. And then again, if you are on the sidelines right now, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you just randomly stumbled into the show and you're like, you know what? This sovereign wealth fund's getting Bitcoin exposure. Maybe I should too. And you have $50,000 liquid on the sideline trying to smash by some Bitcoin. Well, get in touch with the Bitcoin Well Infinite team. It is their OTC desk. So you can buy in bulk and they will also give you white glove service. So you can make sure that you are storing this Bitcoin correctly. You don't just smash by, walk away. They will get on the phone with you. They will walk you through this. They will hold your hand. This is to ensure that you hold these Bitcoin for the long term, for generational wealth. Okay, guys, on that note, let's get into the show. Actually, first news story, guys. It's going to kind of be a bummer. I'm not going to lie. But later on, I got some good stuff for you guys. And then I'm bringing back the real estate debate here. I know I don't have Nico here to talk about renting versus buying, but we have
have me to talk about maintaining a home and how annoying it is.
But we have, one of the legendary investors essentially saying what we've been saying here, guys. We just so vindicated on Simply Bitcoin. Somehow the people with 42 IQs and dropping understand what's going on in the markets better than, the people that's job it is to do this. So I got some total vindication. We're going to take a victory lap here today. Anyways, let's get into the show.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, StampSeed. Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Are your seed phrases really secure? StampSeed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you'll need for you to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates. Instead of just writing them down on paper, paper is fragile. Titanium plates are strong. Your words are actually stamped into the titanium plate with this hammer and these letter stamping tools. Once the words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamp seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They are also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. And now you can customize your titanium seed plates. You can upload your design or logo and they will laser engrave it on the back of your seed plate, the opposite side of where the words are. Stamp your seed on StampSeed and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the stampseed.com store.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Y'all are listen, the disrespect today.
Sorry, guys. We're laughing at the Rumble comment. You guys are hilarious.
Go on Rumble.
Yeah, go on Rumble. C-suite, you're killing me right now. Sorry, guys. That was unprofessional. I should have. All right. Anyway, let's keep it moving. But we got some funny comments, guys. Mikado lost. Stumble into profits with Simply Bitcoin. This is the way. All right, guys. Anyways, geez, you C-suite, you're killing me right now. Anyways, I'm over here on Clark Moody's dashboard, bitcoin.clarkmoody.com, where you can look at all the different numbers on Bitcoin's time chain. If you want to kind of look into what's going on with the network, you want to do a little refresher. Maybe you're unfamiliar with a lot of this stuff. Bitcoin is it's open for everyone to see. You can evaluate what's going on in the network. You can audit the network. Oh, well, you need a node to actually audit the network, but you can see what's going on with the numbers. Anyways, current Bitcoin price is $119,680, which is a decline of 2.70%. So we are down negative 2.7% from all-time highs. Everyone was thinking, you guys were getting super bullish in the chat yesterday. Like, we're going to hit all-time high today. We didn't do that. So remember, we said all-time high by end of week. Maybe Soph should drop the poll. Drop the poll right now. So will we break all-time high by end of week? And I'll continue on these numbers. We're currently at block height of 909,716, and the market cap is $2.38 trillion. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, we're at 10% of gold market cap. Actually, I wasn't going to bring this up on today's show because we kind of covered this in the past, but Bitcoin market cap has officially passed Amazon. We are now officially the 6th largest asset by market cap, as you can see here. Let me see if these numbers are 2.381. Yep, 2.381. So someone can maybe do some quick math here, but at we'll say $2.48 trillion market cap, Bitcoin will pass Google or Alphabet and will be securely in the number 5 position. And then it's going to be a little while until we get past Apple and Microsoft and Nvidia, and then it's going to be a generational run until we get to gold's market cap. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's just going to be another cycle here. But again, since I just covered the market cap, we are securely in the number 6 position right now. So any moves from here, we'll probably be jumping Google here. All right. Well, that was some bullishness for you. Now I have a lot less bullish takes here, guys. I think we might have just got hit by another inverse Kramer, and you guys know what that did last week. This one might be more fatal. I'm not allowed. Let me just play it, and then we'll chat about it. Like, you know me, I'm as bullish as they come.
But I'm also superstitious.
So here we go.
Jim, Bitcoin's on the move today. A lot of the crypto stocks as well. We're not quite back to 123K, but we're close.
Well, it just continues to be, anytime you ever hear about what size the deficit is, or David, you know that the trillions of dollars in the interest has made a lot of younger people feel, this and Ethereum are a better place to be. I'm a huge believer in this, by the way, because I have very little faith that we're going to be able to grow our way out of. I cannot think about how we're going to grow our way out of our situation yet. Maybe.
You mean our debt to GDP?
I've not been able to figure out a way. So it's a great hedge against the.
It conceivably is, if there's financial Armageddon.
They can't believe that it makes sense.
Guys, they just said Bitcoin is a hedge against financial Armageddon. Like if I wasn't
We're going back to 58K.
Yeah, exactly. If I wasn't so superstitious around the inverse Kramer, I would say this is a bullish clip. Like, yes, we got, CNBC saying what we've been saying for a long time. Now I'm like, guys, we might have we might find a 0-day flaw. No, I'm trolling. That was too much. I'm trolling here. But
listen, I'm a Catholic.
I don't know.
I believe in forgiveness and redemption. Maybe Bitcoin is the thing that heals the inverse Kramer curse. Could it be?
I don't know. Everyone is saying, damn you, Kramer. No, not the Kramer effect. Guys, hold on. Yeah, Opti's deaf superstitious. Opti, self has witch instincts. Also, Opti, AI is a demon. All true. All true. Point at the lie.
How does he know?
Because I've been saying that on the show for a minute. Yes, that's how you know I have a 42 IQ. I'm very superstitious.
Listen, I think that Bitcoin's gonna heal Kramer. I think his grandkids are probably like.
Here we go. Even broken clocks get it right sometimes.
Twice, actually. Twice.
Yeah. So, but I mean, look, to be a little less cynical and less trolly about it. I do actually agree with him, which is probably the worst part here. Like, he said some interesting stuff, and maybe Sophie's right. Maybe there is some redemption here. I do believe in redemption as well. Maybe he got the call. Maybe he's getting the tap on the shoulder here, and he's like, all right, unleash unleash the normies onto Bitcoin. He starts embracing Bitcoin. Again, I've told you guys this story before.
I hate that normies actually listen to his
Well,
advice.
I was just going to tell you this story. All right, guys.
We're not going to make it. I'm
guys,
sorry.
I've told this story before, but it's very fitting because this is exactly what Sophie was saying. So before I got into Bitcoin, this was around 2016. I did what every kind of normie, probably millennial, someone that's trying to build some wealth does. And you go talk to someone that basically invest in stocks. So I went and called one of my buddies, longtime friend. We grew up together. His dad kind of taught him how to trade stocks. And he basically gave me two advice. He said, one, just go to Charles Schwab and open up an account. And two, go watch Fast Money with Jim Kramer. And to this day, it's like the funniest thing I can remember about that whole conversation because of the inverse Kramer effect and how like real it is. But yeah, there are people out there that do actually, and he wasn't being ironic. Like he wasn't trolling me. He was like, yeah, go listen to my boy, Jim Kramer.
This was like real good-hearted advice.
Exactly. Like, and I should actually hit him up. He's at you. Other fun story. I'll have to tell Sophie about this one later. I don't want to dox him because I might dox myself during that. But he's done very well for himself. But yeah, he really does believe in Jim Kramer. So with all that being said, maybe Jim Kramer is doing, the reverse billionaire FUD playbook here. Maybe it's time to unleash the masses into Bitcoin. Maybe that is the signal now. Maybe we've gotten to the point where they've filled their bags enough where they can just kind of let the rocket boosters go and start letting Bitcoin fly because, everyone's saying there's price manipulation. Well, there's obviously, we all manipulate the price of Bitcoin. When you buy it, when you sell it, that is by definition price manipulation. Yes, maybe we don't have the capital to actually keep the price low, but maybe they are giving the signal now to buy Bitcoin. I like that. I just talked myself into being a little more bullish instead of being superstitious about it. But yes, Jim Kramer just came out and said, he is bullish on Bitcoin. He is bearish on inflation. He's trying to find a hedge. And the other guy there, I don't know what his name is, said Bitcoin is a hedge against Armageddon. So
I mean, ultimately, it's also process of elimination. If gold isn't going to do it, if real estate isn't going to do it, if bonds are definitely not going to do it, what's the only thing that's left? I kind of feel like the institutions and legacy media and all these people are in this position where they kind of have no choice at this point but to talk about Bitcoin because the proof is in the pudding. And they can no longer say that this is, money for degenerates. This is stuff that our own government is buying and governments around the world are buying. And guess what? If governments around the world buy it first and they adopt Bitcoin first and they win, and they're winning more than the US because of it, it's going to be embarrassing. So this is a hedge even for themselves and their credibility, because imagine if they just, imagine if they lost. Imagine if we didn't buy Bitcoin. Imagine if we were in an alternate reality where the Trump presidency didn't happen and, we were still fighting all of these obstacles against and had choke point 3.0 at this point. And, they have no choice. They have no choice but to bet on Bitcoin at this point.
Yo, now there's an inverse opti. Okay. So we're going high. Whenever I'm bullish, the price dumps. Whenever I start getting bearish, the price pumps. Let's timestamp this.
I mean, there was a mini little, according to them, dump yesterday. We're like, we're going all-time high.
Inverse opti. I'll take it.
Which, by the way, our poll, hold on. Let me end the poll. 54% saying no.
I think that would.
How do I do this? Oh, end poll.
Dude, rookie.
Yeah. I'm new, guys. Still new. Anyway, 53%
wow,
of you
53
said no.
of you are bearish. All right.
53% of you are Nico fans.
But actually, one more thing before we move on. Skip on down the road. Increasing number of top signals. No, dude, don't say it. Double top. Are we double topping?
What does that mean? I don't want to know what that means.
Yeah, okay. Let's not explain it more.
It's going to be great. We're going to pump in September. Everything is going according to plan. Everyone just remain calm. We're fine.
Keep calm and stack on. Stack, sats, and chill. All right, guys, let's get in the news because there's a story that we missed the other week coming out of BlackRock that I find very, very interesting. We covered the BlackRock report that was dropped, I believe, basically on the same day. But we didn't get this, and I think this is probably, if I had this at the time, I think this would be just explosive. But maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little too much. So let's get into it.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, Ledin, the leader in Bitcoin-backed loans. Unlock the liquidity in your Bitcoin without having to sell your Bitcoin. They've issued $9 billion in loans to over 10,000 customers since 2018. I absolutely love these guys. Not only do I have an account with them, but I also have a loan. And what I love about them is that there are no monthly payments, and you could pay back the loan at any time. As soon as you send your Bitcoin as collateral, you'll have cash in your account within 24 hours. Over 1,000 five-star customer reviews, and they've never lost a single dollar or sat of customer money. Go to learn.ledin.io/simply today, and you'll get 0.25% off your first loan. I want to give a shout out to our partner, sat123.com. Sovereignty isn't just about your money. It's about your communications too. When the grid goes down, most people go dark. Cell towers fail in hurricanes, cyber attacks, and blackouts. But satellite phones, they don't rely on local infrastructure. Iridium has 77 satellites in orbit, giving you a direct line anywhere in the US, even offshore. If you hold your own Bitcoin keys, you should hold your own comms too. Sat123.com also has everything you need to start building your Bitcoin citadel. Starlink, battery backups, Faraday bags to protect your hardware wallets, and much, much more. It's a one-stop shop for anyone serious about resilience and off-grid independence. Stay connected, stay independent, stay sovereign. Go to sat123.com/simply today and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the store.
All righty then, guys. Let's dive into this. So you guys probably remember this chart here. There was a BlackRock report that just dropped about I think it was like 3 weeks ago. And they did, it was like 19 pages, and they had a lot of really nice graphics, and they did this one that kind of was snuck in there. And it goes, de-dollarization is shifting central bank reserves to other assets. Global central banks are diversifying beyond the dollar, leading to a rise in other currency reserves, gold holdings, and consideration for emerging assets like Bitcoin. Now, that is obviously super interesting in and of itself. But then we got this, and we completely missed this on the show. But BlackRock CEO, of course, Larry Fink, warns dollars could lose reserve status to Bitcoin. So in their 2025 annual chairman's letters to investors titled The Democratization of Investing, Expanding Prosperity in More Places for More People, we got this, again, embedded here on page 20. Let me scroll down here, which is even more kind of doubling down of what's going on. So again, we've been hearing this conversation. I mean, even Jim Kramer was saying it. If you look at how much debt we have and the interest payments on these debts, it's almost there's basically no way we're going to be able to pay it back. Like we're basically cooked, guys. Like there is no stopping this train, as Lynn Alden says. And we've seen they have increased the spending budgets here. They've raised the debt ceilings. So we're pretty much trapped in one position, and it's that they have to inflate their debt away. It's the only way they can get this. The only way they can get this under control is to ensure that you guys out there, or rather, not you guys here at Simply Bitcoin, because you guys are much more aware of what's going on financially around the world, and I would say even geopolitically at times. But for the average person out there that is struggling right now, wondering how my two jobs aren't able to pay for rent, I'm not even able to buy groceries. I don't know if you guys seen on Twitter recently, but a lot of people are posting screenshots of stuff they bought last year compared to this year. And the CPI numbers just dropped, and I think it was 2.7% today. So the official narrative is things are getting back under control. We're entering the golden age. Things are going to work out, guys. We're getting this under control. And then there's this little, just one little paragraph here in this Larry Fink annual chairman's letter. And it goes, can Bitcoin eat away at the US dollar's reserve status? The U.S. has benefited from the dollar serving as the world's reserve currency for decades, but that's not guaranteed to last forever. The national debt has grown at 3 times the pace of GDP since Times Square's debt clock started ticking in 1989. This year, interest payments will surpass $952 billion, exceeding defense spending. And I think it got up to $1 trillion already. And by 2030, mandatory government spending and debt service will consume all federal revenue, creating a permanent deficit. If the U.S. doesn't get its debt under control, if deficits keep ballooning, America risks losing that position to digital assets like Bitcoin. It should really say America risks losing that position to Bitcoin. Again, look, I'm not the biggest Uncle Larry fan. I do kind of troll that I'm a huge fan of Uncle Larry because I want him to pump my bags. But in reality, I'm not the biggest fan of BlackRock here. They've done a lot of shady stuff in the past. I'm not really big into this mega corporation that's like an octopus that has control of basically all of the world's companies. That's not what I'm here to do. But from this vantage point, from this position, from his altar here, Larry Fink is basically telling everyone what we all know to be true here at Simply Bitcoin, is the debt is getting out of control. The U.S. debt in particular is getting out of control, but global debt worldwide is getting out of control. And you got to remember the dominoes that play out here. Yes, there's a lot of currencies, fiat monies around the world, but most of them are pegged to the dollar. Now, we look at the dollar as a shit coin. Us Bitcoiners are like, yeah, that might be the shiniest turd in the store here, but it's still a turd and you don't want to be holding it. You can't save in dollars. But every other currency is down the way from that. And most of the big currencies are pegged to the dollar. Remember the Bretton Woods Agreement. Like, this is how the fundamental structure of the world is built. Everything is pegged around the dollar, except for 2 things that we would say are uncorrelated. And that's basically gold and Bitcoin. And we all know Bitcoin is superior to gold here. So even though that the dollar might be the shiniest turd in the room here, like, if the dollar goes haywire, if the bond yields don't get under control, if this tariff stuff happens to increase inflation and things get even crazier than they are now, the dollar does have a very real chance of like imploding in real time. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not much of a fiat doomer. I think the dollar will continue for a lot longer, especially when you kind of connect this with what's going on with stable coins and kind of what the positioning is for stable coins. Quote, again, they want to maintain US dollar dominance here. It is interesting to see that we are seeing this conversation come from Larry Fink. I think the fact that it's even just a little blurb here, it's like what, basically 1 paragraph.
That's making the alarm bells in my head
exactly
go haywire.
That's what I'm saying.
Just from the title, the democratization of investing. Like, what do you mean the democratization of investing? Bitcoin is investing being democratized, like in the truest sense, because it relies on a network of decentralized computers to all agree on transactions and carry the network on. So what is he like putting his foot in here about? Actually, it kind of makes me think that BlackRock is positioning themselves to become some sort of treasury leg, like kind of like maybe the new Fed, but for Bitcoin, and making the government rely.
That's Sailor.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe they're competing with Sailor. I mean, maybe they want to compete with Sailor.
I don't know, but there was another quote that I saw, and
we all know Sailor's not going to sell their Bitcoin. BlackRock's in it for the money. Sailor is in it for.
We're all in it for the money. I'm in it for the tech, with my gold chain.
Well, I think he's in it for the tech. He's in it for more.
I'm in it for the tech. I got the gold chain meme, classic. If you don't know that one, but I did see another Larry Fink quote come out today, and I think it's new, But he basically said what I mean, it might be the opposite of what Sophie just said. Like he basically said, like, I'm a true believer in this Bitcoin thing.
I don't know about that.
Like I will look this up. I don't know where it's attributed, but I did see it on Twitter, and I think it was Bitcoin Archive that posted it. It could be an old comment. Someone could, you guys can fact check me. Oh, wow. Look at this. Update. Breaking news. Powell in June, no rate cuts, expecting inflation spike from tariffs. July CPI below expectations again. Okay. So, people are still, oh, you guys didn't see that. I got it right here.
Opti.
Literally, I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. I could not sleep.
What if he's obviously signaling to the government, hey, if you don't get your debt under control, you're going to have to rely on Bitcoin. So you might as well start buying now.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, I'm okay with that. But, who are you going to buy from? U.S. government? Who are you going to buy from?
Not for me.
Oh, no, it's not going to be
Here we
from us.
go.
It's going to be from people like Larry Fink.
I don't know when this was attributed.
Coinbase.
But shouts out the Bitcoin Archive, and he goes, my opinion 5 years ago was wrong. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. He posted that today. I don't know if this is an old quote, but from what I'm seeing, I think I kind of do believe this. I've been saying it for a while. Like the very people that probably need Bitcoin just as much as we do are the very people that are inside the TradFi system. If they are as smart as they claim to be, and I know you guys are very kind of cynical and you think they're not that smart, they're naive, and maybe there was some nepotism
they're definitely
here.
smart.
They're totally smart.
They're also evil, and that's why I have such a, I don't know, this like eerie womanly instinct is telling me
the witch instinct is coming out, but
it's going no.
Yeah, but if you are in the heart of the beast, and we've seen, I've been speculating on this, Jamie Dimon as well, and Larry Fink for a while. If you are in the heart of the beast and you are soberly looking at what's going on, or like Jerome Powell in particular, or Christine Lagarde, and I'm sure they're having these conversations in private. But if you're looking at where we are right now and you're not actually drinking your own Kool-Aid, you'd probably look at Bitcoin and be like, yeah, I should probably get some of this. Like, what if they are right? What if there's a 1%? What if there's a 0.01% chance that the Bitcoiners are right? I should probably own this. And it goes into the Bitcoiners for enemies. So
no,
I think he believes it.
Just looking at it like even more pragmatically, they've seen the returns. They've seen the returns over 5 years, over 15 years, or whatever. Like they've seen the numbers. They speak for themselves. So it's more of a question of like, can they put their ego aside and purchase this, or
They said, imagine the magician. Retail's fumbling the bag to Larry, and then he goes, retail is getting Larry'd. Pause.
I'm dead.
Okay.
Retail's got to get their shit together.
Yo, I showed you guys a chart. I think it was last week. There's a chart that came out of Bitwise. And it's basically saying like institutions are eating retail's lunch right now. So like if you think these institutions don't understand what time it is, you are not looking at the same data. Retail has been dumping coins. Institutions have been scooping this up, and not just the ETFs, but corporate treasuries. Like we're kind of getting our lunch ate right now. Yes, we all got in earlier than they did, but they're coming in size, and right now they're winning the tug of war. So hey, I don't think these guys don't know what's going on. I think they maybe publicly say some things, but privately they're winning right now, guys.
I think everything they say in the public is for a purpose, and that purpose serves their own incentives. And so there has to be something here. Like, I don't know, that maybe I'm just cynical, but there has to be an angle here that we're not seeing with Larry Fink. And I like what McConnell said, don't get Larry'd.
Yeah, for reals. Guys, don't sell all your Bitcoin to Saylor and Larry Fink and Donald Trump. Come on, guys. hodl your Bitcoin here. All right. This is not the time to be selling. Anyways, let's keep it moving. I am going to bring up one of the more spicier conversations we had on the show in the last probably month, which really kind of blindsided us. It was a conversation on whether you should rent a house or you should buy a house. And we got Ray Dalio vindicating us again, guys.
Get your wives, guys. Get your wives. Sit them down.
Totally vindicated. Yes. This is yeah. Get your girlfriends and your wives that want you to dump your Bitcoin and sit them down right now, because we have one of the legendary investors essentially saying you don't want to buy a house. Here we go.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, HIVE Digital Technology. Why HIVE in 2025? Unstoppable growth. As the first ever public miner, HIVE's position to quadruple their global footprint, making them one of the world's fastest growing miners in 2025. And with elite operations that consistently top the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash, HIVE's now headquartered in the USA. They're lean and mean, they're green and clean, and they're rewriting the playbook on sustainable Bitcoin mining. You can catch the latest buzz at HIVE Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com. I want to give a shout out to our partner, bitcoinben.io. If you're into freedom, Bitcoin, and building a real community, this is for you. Gain exclusive access to real-world, members-only, private clubs across the globe, featuring poker nights, expert-led classes, co-working spaces, educational meetups, live events, and more. Current locations include Sarasota, Nashville, Boston, Dallas, Las Vegas, and St. Louis, with new clubs launching soon in West Palm Beach, Scottsdale, Alabama, and beyond. Not to mention Bitcoin Ben's resorts in El Salvador. There's 3 of them, and they're absolutely beautiful. You'll also get access to the first fully backed Bitcoin bank with fiat ramps and savings accounts. It's called Private Key Bank, and you guessed it, it's based out of El Salvador. Go peer-to-peer with Bitcoin bulk buys, tap into home equity for long-term Bitcoin growth, and join their exclusive mining pools if you're interested in mining. What are you waiting for? Head over to bitcoinben.io, join today, where Bitcoin meets freedom.
All right, guys. All right. Before I get into this, I am going to do some context here, because you guys are already fighting in the chat. Oh, dude, who knew that this was going to be like the most contentious topic we've done on Simply Bitcoin in a while? I think before we get into this, obviously we're going to chat about this for a little bit, and I do have a clip from Ray Dalio here. I think the framing here is like, if you want to buy a house to live in.
Today. The context is today.
Yeah, like
not 2020, not 2021.
Exactly.
Today.
Like, if you don't already own a home, and I see you guys like, my mortgage is less than rent. I get it, dude.
Good
like,
for you.
Yeah,
you
we're happy for you.
Early. We're so happy.
You know, like, good for you. There's obviously different flavors for everyone.
Also, at that time, Bitcoin was what, 45K around there?
Yeah,
average?
But the conversation is really like, if you are maybe Sophie and our age, you know, in like your late 20s, early 30s right now, there's a lot of people
have savings,
or, you know, or you do have some savings, but you're really sitting on cash. Yeah, exactly. Like, there is, you know, there is a lot of people on social media right now that are continuing to kind of talk about this idea. And I would say really stuck in old models, saying that like the best way to build wealth is to buy real estate. You know, real estate investment is the best way to build wealth. All the millionaires and, you know, deca millionaires, there's one key secret. I see these threads all the time. There's one key ingredient that connects them all, and it's they bought real estate. Look, yes, if you had done this strategy in the past 5-10 years, or maybe, you know, 20-30 years ago, or if you're like a boomer and you bought a house for like, you know, $28,000 and now it's worth 1.2 million, you know, kudos to you. But this is more tailored for people that are now looking for ways to build wealth. And, you know, Nico came on here and you guys lost it when he's like, bro, you rent a house right now. Like, yes, you know, you're burning sats, whatever, but like renting is the way. And that's
You're
where
not
this came from.
You're not burning the
Can you stop
opportunity
yelling?
cost.
I'm excited.
That's
Sorry,
basically what
sorry.
it is. You're not burning your opportunity costs in a really big way, because at the end of the day, paying rent is not as like, if you look at it as like payments over time, Bitcoin and your stack are going to outpace that. So it doesn't make sense to take out a huge chunk of your stack and put it into a house that isn't going to beat the value of Bitcoin. Like, that's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah, and now, all right, that was probably too much context. I think we over-explained ourselves. But check out this thread this tweet.
I'm a woman, Opti.
Yeah.
I always over-explain myself.
Yeah, here we got Ray Dalio, and I'm going to play the video. It is like a TikTok long form, so I don't know if my software is acting up on me, so I'll play the video for you guys real quick. But just to like TLDR this, or, you know, short and sweet of this, Ray Dalio tweets, "My view is that buying and holding real estate is not an effective investment strategy in our current economic environment for a few reasons. One, real estate is more interest rate sensitive than it is inflation sensitive. So given our current circumstances, it is likely to go down in real terms. Two, it is fixed asset that is easy to tax, which limits its impacts on your ability to diversify. Three, real estate is nailed down, so investing in it makes it more difficult to move money from one place to another. That's my view in a nutshell. I'm curious to hear if you agree." So let's play the clip here, and then we'll chat about it. And you guys let us know what you think in the chat, and maybe we'll read a couple of them.
Throughout history, there have been two things that people have always wanted as a source of wealth. One was gold, and then real estate. And what do you think about, if you're nervous about paper currency and the valuation of it, why not just buy real estate and hold on to it? Is that not a good idea?
It's not a good idea.
No.
It's not a good idea because real estate is more interest rate sensitive than it is even inflation sensitive. So if you were to say, if this environment happens, does it go? It goes down in real terms. It's also an asset that is a fixed asset that is the easiest asset to tax. In other words, you in any place, you're in a particular state, putting in real estate taxes means that they could always get the money. And so it's not an effective diversifier that way. And also being able to move money from one place to another, the real estate is nailed down.
So, guys, I know we framed this conversation when we brought it up that in Bitcoin terms, it just makes no sense. Like, if you're going to buy a house, I don't know, I think the average number that kind of been shipped around is like, if you're going to buy a house for 4 Bitcoin right now, average home, I think that would be, you know, roughly around $400,000. Well, in I don't know, like 4 years from now, 5 years from now, that same 4 Bitcoin might be able to buy you 4 houses. So like, why would you want to buy the house now when you can rent it from a boomer for less than what they're paying, less than the cost to buy the house? And in that time, you could save the Bitcoin and buy yourself the house over again. Now, again, the conversation does kind of have a fork in the road here. Like, if you've always dreamed about buying a house and you have a family,
Do it.
and you have the ability and the means to do this, and it's not your whole Bitcoin stack, then of course, buy yourself a house. Like, in that context, totally makes sense. But from this perspective of using real estate as an investment vehicle, we've heard all the Bitcoiners say for a long time that this was going to play out. We've heard Sailor literally say that. Actually, there's a good Sailor comment here. Let me pull this up.
It's funny because every single justification that they give for investing in real estate are like kind of the same justifications and the same problems that there are in gold. You know, you can't take it anywhere. You have to maintain it, like, wherever you keep it. In this case, you have to pay property tax. It's
Yo, chat, you're cooked. I'm getting cooked today. I'm totally getting cooked.
it's basically always inconvenient. Whereas with Bitcoin, you could just stack your corn, keep it in self-custody, and, you know, save it for a rainy day. I think if, you know,
Beachy gets it. Beachy gets it. Sorry, don't mean to cut you off, Sophie, but she goes, "I'm an elder woman who has owned over 100 buildings/units. I've been selling all my real estate except for one ranch that overlooks the ocean that has millions in timbers on it, and I'm buying Bitcoin." Let's go. Beachy gets it.
yeah, because she wants to have a better life. You think it's easy maintaining real estate. I love that there's like this narrative online. It's like, oh, landlords, they don't do anything. What it's really hard to manage a property. It's really difficult. You literally have to deal with something every other day. And I think that like when you have a ton of real estate, it accumulates, the problems get bigger, the maintenance and the amount of money that you have sunk into this investment just increases more and more. So at the end of the day, like not only are you not going to outpace the price of Bitcoin, you're also going to have all these sunk costs that, you're not even enjoying the property. So what's the point?
Yeah, and shouts out to BitTunes for the $2 because the great flippening is happening. Yes, it is happening in real time. And like I said, the Sailor comment, better to buy digital real estate, guys. This is the takeaway. I know, like I even have one of my friends, one of my one of my oldest friends. He's low key, loosely a Bitcoiner. I've orange pilled him over the years, and he would fight me for a while. He's like, look, dude, like I can, take a loan out or just put 10% of the down payment down. And then, for a year, then I'm able to kind of take mortgage out and I can continue to do this and roll this over and roll this over. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a cool story, bro. But like, I'd just rather buy Bitcoin and not have to do any of that. And yes, like someone said here in the chat, as the meme goes, you will own nothing and be happy. No, see, this is where there's a caveat here. You'll own nothing but Bitcoin and you'll be happy because in a few years you'll be able to buy everything you want. Like what are we talking about here? It's just a totally different paradigm shift. Like the saying, you got to try new things, or you're crazy if you try the same thing over and over and over again. As you can see, we are in an internet age. We are in the digital age. And to really kind of capitalize on this life-changing moment, this once-in-a-lifetime moment, like you got to do different things. Now, of course, I've made up my mind on what I'm going to do. Nico did it as well. He dragged Sophie along with it. She's pretty happy about it. You guys have done it in the chat. You guys have all made up your own minds here of what you believe is the best thing to be doing. But right now, I've been saying it to all my friends, and I'm usually trolling them. I'm like, bro, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. And you have to do kind of unconventional thinking at the moment right now to capitalize on what's going on. And I know I'm a broken record here because we talk about this constantly, but literally all you have to do is just pile as much of your money coming into Bitcoin, hold it long-term, store it correctly, and you will be able to buy your dream house. You will be able to beat inflation. Like you will outperform the best hedge funds on Wall Street literally by just buying Bitcoin and chilling. The hardest part about Bitcoin is not the buying the Bitcoin. It's the chilling with your Bitcoin. It's going outside and ignoring all the crazy stuff. I know it's our job to cover the crazy stuff for you guys, but literally probably the best trading strategy you can do with Bitcoin is buying Bitcoin and just going, and we're laid up in the show, fucking off and just like enjoying your life and working out, eating some good food, hanging out with your friends, like reading a book. Maybe you guys aren't the biggest fans of Netflix, but just like watching Netflix, working your normal job,
or just spending time with your family.
Exactly.
Watching your kids grow up, like teaching them things.
Stop, like don't get so caught up in the price. I love the price. I'm a dopamine fiend here for the price. Like I'm dead inside. I need the price to pump again so that I can get some good content for you guys and really lose my shit on the show. But really, all you have to do is just buy Bitcoin and chill, and all of your, like, it's going to be corny, but then all of your dreams will come true. Like you just need to kind of commit to the process. Like you can complicate it all you want, but you have the best investors in the world, the legendary investors, the ones that basically built Wall Street now, basically saying the same thing all of us Bitcoiners have been saying for a long time. You probably don't want to buy real estate right now. You probably want to buy something else. And again, Ray Dalio recently did just say, like, yeah, you probably want, I don't know, 15, maybe 40% of Bitcoin in your portfolio. Look, we're just trying to just share the information to you guys, and you guys make up your own mind. But if I was new to Bitcoin and I was hearing all this stuff, I probably would have gone harder than I did when I heard it in 2017. With everything playing out right now, I'm looking back like I could have stacked harder.
And here's the thing, if you do stack hard and long enough, eventually you will own your own home. Eventually you will have enough money where those property taxes and maintenance and whatever, it won't matter. Eventually you might even own a second home that you'll actually get to enjoy with your family, but it won't be this stressful situation where it's like, you know, I have 100 condos and I have to maintain them all, and 50 of them didn't pay me rent this week, and now I have to pay lawyers for a lawsuit because I have to chase them for rent, and I have to pay all these people. It's a pain. It's really, really, it's not as easy as people think. It's not, you know, this, and it doesn't give you the gains that Bitcoin is going to give you. And while we're early, while, you know, these institutions still haven't fully caught on, although they're starting to, our advice to you is, you know, to keep stacking, like really just keep stacking and don't worry about everything else. If you're watching the show, it's because you have a grasp on Bitcoin. You already understand the ramifications, both economically and culturally, on how this is going to impact the rest of the world. So just stick to your convictions, keep stacking sats. Don't get involved into something that you don't believe in, because who believes in a house that they won't even live in? Who believes in that? Nobody. So just keep going on this path, have your long time preference, and just be patient.
I'm going to double down on that, Sophie. You want to change the trajectory of your bloodline?
Yes!
Stack as much Bitcoin as humanly possible, store it long term, and they will make oil paintings of you over the fireplace, okay? This is the plan. We want every single one of you guys to be as wealthy and influential as possible. Get healthy, get fit. You know, as the running joke here on Simply Bitcoin is we have scammed you guys into profits. All you need to do is buy Bitcoin, get more and more bullish. Obviously, like, pay your bills and, you know, eat food, be smart about it. But yeah, pile as much money as you can into Bitcoin and chill. This is how you change your life. This is how,
and make lots of kids who will also be Bitcoiners.
I will. I have to. I have to work on that one, but
okay, you have time, Opti.
Let's hope so. Anyways, on that note, all right. So, Sophie, she's dropping a video later, guys. If you love Sophie, she's dropping a video.
Watch it. Give
and
it a like.
I think,
but more importantly, share it with your friends and haters.
yeah, share it to the haters. Hi, haters. And I think Nico will be back tomorrow. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that, so we might just get more bullish tomorrow. Maybe we'll just kick off the perma bear all week and we'll get stupidly bullish on this week. But maybe inverse Opti is in full effect. Anyways, guys, we love you. See you tomorrow. Check out our channel. Subscribe, like, comment. What do you think about the show? We will see you tomorrow. And we have the next star. We got the next star. We got the next star. All right, later. All right, later.
Today's episode was brought to you by BitcoinWell.com, a Bitcoin-only platform on a mission to enable financial independence.